Matthew 10, verse 34 to 39. Do not suppose I have come to bring peace to the earth. I do not come to bring peace, but a sword. I have come to turn a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies will be the members of his own household. Anyone who loves his father and mother more than me is not worthy of me. Anyone who loves his son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Anyone who does not take his cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Whoever finds his life will lose it. Whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. I think we talk about this a lot inside modern Christian culture. The idea of taking up your cross. But I don't think we always explain really what that means. I think when we hear taking up our cross, we think of Jesus, obviously, who took up the cross for us. But I think we kind of sometimes will, dumb it down. We'll say, take up your cross. That just means, choosing his ways every day. Or, putting down your self-foot for every day, which it is that. I think it's also more deeper than that. It's more rooted in every part of our lives, not just one part. When Jesus took up the cross for us, he endured not only all the physical pain. He was, beaten, he was stabbed, he had the crown of thorns on his head, he had the nails in his hands and feet, like unimaginable horrors. Things today that we wouldn't even fathom would be a, topic of, doing to someone, wouldn't even be an idea. But it happened to Jesus. And then, even worse, when he was on the cross, he bore the guilt and the shame of every single sin to take all the sins away and be the, sacrifice for us. But I think, when we hear take up our cross, what does that, really entail? I think it's the part about following his ways every single day. It's also it's saying, it's putting God above everything. Your own mother, your own father, your, it's saying even daughter-in-law against mother-in-law. It's choosing the path, not only the paths of the Lord, but choosing the Lord himself above everything. Whether that's, dedication in moral standings, dedication to values, which we'll say values very similar, or in who you're hanging around, who you're choosing to associate yourself with. If you have a family member who's per se, very adamant on influencing you one way, is hard on their heart towards the Lord. It might be a time and place where you gotta take a step back and just pray. You're not able to actually help them. But just praying is the only way now. You've planted the seed. So you gotta just trust in the Lord. And that might mean you have to take a step back from being around them. And that's hard. I have had many people in my life, many family members in my life. I was close with these two. My family has always lived close together. I had two cousins that lived super duper close. And we would hang out all the time, every day, all day. And then as they got older, they were in public school, and they were on the football team. They were, big hunking dude, big old suckers. And they started choosing, to go to some parties, started choosing to hang around with certain types of people that are involved in those kind of scenes. And they started getting into drugs. They started getting into, smoking weed and all sorts of stuff, and they led him down the really, really hard path. But because I was so young, I had to, kind of subconsciously make the choice, and it kind of happened naturally because they weren't around as much anymore. But I kind of had to make a choice of, okay, when they are around, I can't be influenced by this. And it was a thing not only I had to do, my parents had to do for me, or to tell me, hey, you gotta really take a step back about being close to them, being around them. And it's hard because you've grown up with these people your whole life, or you've known about them your whole life, and you're blood related to them. They're your everything. But it says, Anyone who loves his father and mother more than me is not worthy of me. Anyone who loves his son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. I think this also has to go with a lot of other places in our lives. When you're trying to date someone, you're not trying to, be with someone who doesn't, like, you want to be with someone who loves God more than they love you. It's a very, very crucial aspect. I think it's overlooked a lot because a lot of times in Christian culture, we get with someone, they seem all perfect, and we think that, we're going to get married young, whatever, it's all going to go great. But you really got to look at the deep root of the person that we're trying to, and that's hard, especially if you're in a relationship. It's so hard because you're not actually close to the person. People don't open up after even a year, 2 years. People can take a long time to open up, and you want to really, know that that person loves the Lord more than you. That's important. And our modern culture kind of pushes us away from that. It's all about, they gotta be, super dedicated to you, what's your needs, your wants, your this, your that. But that's not really right. And I think that, a lot of other ways that it can work, whether it's your job, putting God in front of your job, whether that means, you're taking time out of your lunch break, taking time out of your day to pray, taking time out of your, it could be really anything. It's harder with work sometimes, I think, because mentally, we're so focused on, providing for our families, and getting in that headspace. But I think too, it can also be, while we're at work, keeping the Lord's standard true, in our speech, in our communication styles with other people, and the way we communicate. And that can be hard to do, especially when you're in these, secular environments. But I think it's important that we stay true to the Word. And when he says, putting him as priority, choosing to love him over loving other people. So yeah, my thoughts for the night.